Alright, welcome to Storage Room Games. We're jumping ahead a few console generations from Master System and Genesis to the wonderful, glorious Sega Saturn. And we're going to play a game that is a pretty good showcase of what the Sega Saturn was meant to do. 2D shooters or shoot 'em ups. This is Hyper Duel. Hyper Duel is a game by Technosoft Technosoft is known for the Thunder Force series. I'm not sure where, as far as release dates go, that this game lies, but this is a great shooter, or I guess shoot 'em up as they call them now. Hyper Duel. So let's get into it here. We've got Saturn mode, arcade mode. Let's go Saturn mode. Now, one thing about the Saturn, and this is talked about a lot. It's an extremely underrated console. At the time, everyone was hyped with 3D, and the Saturn was kind of making a leap with 2D, the next generation from Genesis to Saturn in 2D, and there were some great 2D games. A lot of them were shooters, a lot of them were fighters, but everyone was so hyped with 3D that they overlooked all of the cool 2D stuff that was coming out, and I think it's only now being appreciated. But we've got 3 ships to choose from. Let's go with good old Keith Spader. Now, the cool thing about 2D games on the Saturn, we're going from a 16-bit machine with a pretty limited sound chip. The Sega Genesis sound processor was awesome and has some great tunes, but now we're going from 16-bit chip tunes to CD quality music, and it is a massive leap. So the sound in this game is awesome. The graphics in this game are amazing. So what we want to do is just appreciate the 2D animation and parallax, and of course we got load times, but I mean, right off the bat, look at the backgrounds. You've got stuff going on in the background, ships exploding, you've got the space background. I mean, it's just gorgeous pixels to look at. So back in the day, going from 16-bit to seeing something like this and hearing something like this is, I mean, it was just pretty incredible. I'm doing pretty awful here. I'm focusing too much on scenery, but I mean, for a shoot 'em up, this grabs you right away. This is a sweet game. I mean, look at that artwork. This is just, we've already hit a boss here. I mean, the Saturn did some cool things with their sprites and their scalings and their rotations. We're already game over almost, but we have some continues. We're jumping right back in. We can can switch to a mech in this game. Stage 1 clear. I mean, there's a lot going on. The sound. The music is energizing. Look at the background shifts. I mean, why didn't we get more of these games in the States? So many good 2D Japanese games that... I mean, Hyper Duel may come out in the States, I'm not sure, but this... We didn't get nearly the games that we should have that came out on the Saturn. I mean, the Saturn in Japan was very popular, but everybody in the States, they were jumping to the N64 and the PlayStation. Okay, here we go. This is another showcase of what the Saturn can do. This enemy is coming in from the background. That's just stuff you did not see happen on the 16-bit machines. And as a kid, it would blow your mind. Oh my gosh, this is a hard game, but it is fun. Got plenty of continues. You can switch to a mech. It just I prefer the ship because it has a pretty good spread shot. I mean, the CD quality sound, the CD music, enemy approaching. I mean, the sprites are huge, colorful. This game just never, I don't think, got the love that it deserved. It's just an amazing game. I'm not gonna beat this boss before we die, but oh yeah, there we go. I mean, just in the pause screen there, the pixels, you gotta love the pixels. Game over. But I wish people weren't so quick to jump into the 3D. I mean, it was pretty exciting at the time, and going from 2D to 3D was a pretty big deal, but then we overlooked so many cool 2D games that were really, I mean, going from the Thunder Force series, Lightning Force, or Lightning Force as it's spelled, to this game, it's just a tremendous leap. Both games are fun, but my gosh, this is like eye candy. So let's try a different ship here real quick. We'll do one quick playthrough again, or attempt. But there's tons of these games. There is a Thunder Force game on the Saturn that is really good. It uses a little more of the polygons, but the sprite work, man, you just miss it. You gotta love it. I mean, the sprites in the shoot 'em ups, and God, even Doom 64 had some awesome sprite work, even though that was a 3D game. I guess as a kid, if you grow up with this stuff, I think you just see it differently. I don't know. How does the younger generation see it? But like I said, the graphics are just gorgeous, and the music is, I mean, you could pop this in your CD player, and if you've got a nice system, it's going to sound pretty awesome in your car. Alright, we're doing a little better this time. We're paying a little more attention. Sometimes talking and gaming at the same time is hard. But God, I love these shooters. These shoot 'em ups. There is a there's a game that came out on the Dreamcast called Stormwind, and it's like a relatively fairly recent release, and it's just a great homage to classic shooters with sprites and sprite work, and it's just great side-scrolling action. Oh yeah, stage 1 clear. We did a little better that time. Maybe it's the ship. Maybe it's my awesome gameplay. Like I said, you can switch to a mech, but then your shot is directional, so it's a little bit harder. Wherever the D-pad goes, that's where your shot goes, so it's a little bit harder to control. That's why I prefer the ship. But you can run through these tight corners and use your ultimate shot or whatever it is. You got the lasers going everywhere, and the ship's blowing up, and the tanks. I mean, you're just laying waste to everything. Then you can get these options. You've got a little side ship there, or you can get like a mini mech. It'll help you along the way. I mean, look at that. He's coming in from the background. An actual enemy. It's pretty cool. Let's use the lasers. Oh yeah. Oh, we're dead. But yeah, I mean, you just get into this game. These old games, they're just, I don't know, they just play different than modern games. A little bit, works the reflexes, I don't know, slightly puzzle even. You've got to move around, you've got to dodge enemy fire. Great sound, great graphics, great enemies. It is very busy. Oh yeah. Got the 80s kid reflexes. They're failing me though, failing me. Oh! Luckily we got continues. Listen, if you've got a Saturn, you gotta look at these games differently. They're kind of like the 16-bit generation moving into next generation at the time. Made it to the next stage. Let's check it out real fast. Does some interesting things. So we're scrolling down. Now we're sort of out of outer space. Got the danger warnings. Got the mechs on the ground and the tanks. You gotta love these games that make you just feel powerful. Technosoft was great with the Thunder Force series and this game, but just wanted to get a quick play in, review and play a really cool game, Hyper Duel on the Saturn. I totally agree. Saturn is underrated. It never got the heyday it deserved. There was just too much going on in gaming at the time. There was 3D coming out. There was Nintendo had a new console. Sony released the PlayStation, and it's real sad. Everyone kind of jumped ship on Sega. And you know, people make fun of like the Sega CD and the 32X, but my gosh, it was exciting at the time, and it seemed very consumer friendly. They were just trying to sort of add to what you already had, add to the Genesis, get more bang for money you'd already spent on a console. And the 32X, my gosh, I love the 32X. They're doing some cool things with that now, with Doom. Hopefully some more fan games come out with the 32X. And golly, I'd even like to see some new Saturn games. I know there are some out there. But yeah, sad story. Everyone kind of bailed on Sega for the new and shiny. And I was kind of a loyal fan, and I was just glad to be a part of the Genesis, Saturn, Dreamcast time period. It was a cool time for video games. Anyway, we'll catch you next time. I don't know what we're gonna try next, but it's gonna be a good one. But check out Hyper Duel. Really cool game. Peace.